And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our final media day of the week. My name is John Schwartz, Associate Athletic Director and Sports Information Director here at Case Western Reserve University. And we'll be wrapping things up with 2020 Media Week with our cross-country teams, as we will have head coach Kathy Lanise, along with senior Grace Kemmerer, sophomore Liam O'Reilly, and sophomore Melissa Fung, all here joining us today. If you wouldn't all mind just turning on your cameras and joining us as we get set to get rolling here. And I want to thank you all for joining us. And Coach, we'll start with you. If you wouldn't mind, just please give an opening statement on the 2020 men's and women's teams and what you were looking forward to seeing from them this year.
Hey, John, my video is disabled from you, okay. So.
Well, it shouldn't be. Well, we'll try to get it going here, but in the meantime,
okay.
Go ahead and start talking. We'll see what we could do.
Okay.
Coach, you could go ahead and tell us, again, just if you can, just give us a statement on the team.
Sure. I just wanted to, first of all, express regret to all my runners, especially the seniors who have lost their season of competition. And it's just been a really difficult challenge. And I commend everybody for keeping their heads up and continue with training and just looking forward to us engaging and getting together very soon.
Okay. And I'm guessing cameras aren't working for our athletes. There's Liam, he's on there.
Yeah, it says the host has disabled it. So
okay. We'll see if we could get that going here, but
okay.
In the meantime, let's start with the athletes, and if you can, we'll ask you for all of your thoughts. And Grace, we'll start with you. If you can, just tell us your thoughts on this year's team and what you think they could have accomplished this year.
Yeah, sure. So looking at the women's side, I can start with you. Looking at the women's team, I believe 6 of the 7 women that ran at regionals are returning. So we would have had strong returners there. We also had a pretty big incoming class with both like freshmen and sophomores joining the team. And they definitely looked promising. So I think we could have done great things.
Liam, we'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts on the 2020 team?
I'll kind of echo what Grace said for the women. On the men's side. There were a lot of returners coming back from the national appearance last year, and even adding new members that would have contributed to that top level of competition again. I think the men's team definitely would have been back up there again, competing at the national level.
Melissa, how about from your perspective? What were you looking for from the team this year?
Yeah, I kind of had some of the same thoughts. We had such a strong returning team, and I felt like, at the end of last season, we were starting to build a really great dynamic in practice, and we were really excited to add some new members to that atmosphere. So, I mean, it was going to be really good, but we know it's for the best.
Would like to remind all of our viewers out there, feel free to jump on. You can ask our athletes or Coach Lanise a question if you'd like during the course of the media day here by using the chat function on the right side of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. Coach, I'll throw it back to you here and tell us what you think the fall is going to look like at this point. What do you kind of hope to accomplish as a team under what is certainly a modified and different fall for you? And what do you want to see from your team in terms of practices and all that this year?
Yeah. Hi, John. So I just want to see their faces, first of all. And that's probably the most important thing, is just to regain some connection and be able to run. We're going to be working in small groups this year, but being able to connect and to have some community gathering. I know it's hard with social distancing, but we have a really good plan in store to keep people safe and keep us out on the roads together. So it's just really that sense of community, that sense of re-engaging and being able to get to know our teammates a little bit better, even, all the new people that are in with us too. So looking forward to that.
Want to talk back to the runners here, and it's interesting because in terms of, what you can do or what you could have done over the summer, running long distances is probably one of the safest things. You certainly could have done, especially by yourself. So I'm going to ask you all, what were you able to do over the summer? And Liam, we'll start with you. And were you able to do anything creative in terms of working out over the summer?
Like you said, running's fairly simple to do in this quarantine state. Just going out, finding trails that can be isolated to run in. The interesting thing was trying to get into the weight room and trying to work there. So when that wasn't available, it was getting body weight workouts and home workouts that we could do to change and do that safely.
Melissa, how about you? Were you able to do anything creative in terms of working out over the summer?
Yeah, so I'm from Washington, so we have some really gorgeous trails out there. Nothing really changed too much because, running you can just do anytime on your own. But the biggest thing I think was just learning to run by myself. That was pretty tough mentally, but excited to get back with the team and run with some people.
Grace, I'll ask you the same question, and this is what always blows my mind in terms of mileage. What are you putting up in a typical week? And then again, were you doing, what did your workouts look like over the summer?
Yeah, so the first thing is that we start the summer usually from like a break after the track season. So we build up throughout the summer. And for the first maybe third of the summer, we don't even do hard workouts. It's just kind of building a base mileage. So for me, for most women on the team, we probably started around like 25 or 30 miles a week. And then we'd build up hopefully to 40 to 50 by the end of the summer. One thing that coach did add this summer that I enjoyed a lot was these practice time trials, because when we all come back during the orientation week before school starts, we have a time trial to try out for the team. And this year the time got a bit faster than the previous years. And so coach started in June with a 2-mile time trial and then build up to the distance by the end of the summer. So those were kind of fun to look forward to practice running at that faster pace that maybe we haven't been running at, but at the shorter distance, then building it up to the higher distance. So that was good.
I'm laughing when you said 20 to 30 miles because I don't think I drove my car 20 to 30 miles over the course of the entire summer. We were kind of stuck inside here. So that's certainly a nice break to be able to get out and do that, I'm sure too, even though it's a pretty intense workout. Coach, we're going to talk to each of the athletes here today individually about some of their thoughts on the team as well. But if you can, share us your thoughts on each of these three runners that we have here, in Liam, Melissa, and Grace.
Sure. So I'll just speak of Grace first. As a captain that was elected by her peers, I'm really grateful for her leadership this summer with all of her teammates. And I also look at Grace as a tremendous team contributor. Her dedication, her development over the years, and everything she's accomplished in her career thus far. So I look at Grace from a kind of a shy freshman to developing herself into a competitive leader through the years. And I'm just really grateful for that. Liam's new with us in that regard, did not run cross country last year, but he trained on his own all fall. And his incredible enthusiasm, his incredible work ethic. I know, Liam, that anything is possible for you when we do compete in cross country and when we do get to the track. And Melissa, contributions as a freshman are just, I cannot express how much you added to this team. Your freshman year, I know you were, always looking for self-improvement. You had a couple, just little injuries and things you had to deal with throughout the year. And you were always looking for ways to make those better. So to be a better athlete and looking forward to that and knowing that you're taking every step of the way for success. And that's very exciting for you and for the team.
Grace, Coach Lenise mentioned, she was talking about how you've matured into, kind of a real valuable senior contributor on this team. If you can you reflect a little bit on your 4 years here and 4 years on the team, and then on your senior class as a whole and what they've provided for the team?
Oh, sure. Yeah, personally, I very much agree with what Coach just said. I did come in freshman year. I remember I was battling injuries that summer before school started, so I didn't have a great freshman year just because I didn't have the mileage building, and I was pretty shy and reserved. But each season, I grew as a person and as a leader and as a runner, and I'm forever thankful for that because it really helped me become who I am today. As a class, I think we have a lot to be proud of. So just even in the 3 years, not including the year that we just lost, members of our men's class, helped take the team to nationals the last 2 years. And we've also had a lot of people get, all region all academic and all conference all academic, which are both really important, like prestigious awards to receive. So, our class has done a lot, and I'm really sad we couldn't get this final year, but maybe we'll have track in the spring.
Liam, I'll turn it to you. And again, something Coach Lenise alluded to is that you did not run cross country last year, but you certainly were a pretty active participant in track, had a really good track and field season. What have you done to transition from going from track and field now into a cross country season?
Yeah, so at the end of the indoor track season, towards the end, like where everything got canceled, I actually developed a stress fracture in my left tibia. So that sat me out for a solid 2 months. And so transitioning into that cross country training, it was starting out at the really low mileage and slowly building up, taking my time. And now it's getting into maintaining that high mileage while being safe and working in workouts and strength training, and just developing that stronger aerobic base. And as we get later in this season, working more into that speed that you might see more in track.
Melissa, you jumped into the mix last year and had a really nice year for the women's team in your first year of competing collegiately. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like going from being a high school runner and then all of a sudden being thrown in the mix and being one of the top 7 on a collegiate women's cross country team?
Yeah, so I came in from high school as more of like a middle distance runner. And so I really didn't know what to expect out of a 6K from myself. I just my initial goal was I just want to finish the 6K. You hit the 5K mark and you're like, I'm supposed to be done now. High school cross country is only 5K. So I was like, my first goal is just to do a 6K and then we'll go from there. But yeah, after last season, I guess I surprised myself. I didn't know where it was going to fall or how I was going to feel. But after that, I'm kind of able to formulate some real goals for myself in the future and figure out what kind of methods work for me and stay strong and stay healthy and just kind of continue on an upward trend. It's probably my biggest goal.
Coach, I'll ask you the next question here. And if you can, it's an interesting year because you have a really, pretty high proportion of your team that competes not just in cross country, but also competes in track and field. And obviously with the cross country season, at least not happening in the fall, how much as a coach do you begin to focus on training for track and field, or making sure they're in shape for the track and field season to run the distance races and mid-distance races there? How much of it is ensuring that you're giving, the athletes who run cross country that experience as well? Where do you find the balance between those two things in this year?
I think in cross country, we're at an incredible advantage for track and field because every step we take in cross country is that piece of development. Every weight that we lift is that piece of development that's going to make each runner stronger and better on the track. And so we kind of, in a sense, we're competing week to week And so we can evaluate performances. We can kind of look at what changes need to be made within performances and what is going to make us stronger for the track. So I really believe we have that advantage over the rest of the track team in a sense, because while they are practicing or getting stronger, they don't have those competitive moments. And that is something, you know, maybe we could talk about, but I'm going to try to provide for the team this year in cross country season once we get through phase 1 of this training. But I got to get through phase 1, and safety is first, and I want everyone to know that. So but we do have, I believe, a tremendous advantage.
Coach, we'll come back to you for the final word here in just a minute, but I do want to ask the athletes, and kind of off the realm of the team, talking a little bit about your experience so far this semester. It's been really interesting to hear from some of our other student athletes that we've heard from this week, to hear what their experience was. So I'm not sure of the three of you who's on campus, who's off campus, who's been here or is taking classes in person, or they're all remote. But if you can, just share with us, and Melissa, we'll start with you. Share with us what your experience has been so far this semester as a student.
So yeah, so I'm living in a house in a neighborhood kind of adjacent to campus. So not on campus. All my classes are online, but I am living with a few people on the team. So just to have a sense of a little bit of normalcy, it's nice to be around people who are also taking classes, and we have access to all the same kind of running routes that we had last year. So it's been, I think it's the best situation it could be.
Grace, how about you? How's your experience been so far this year?
Yeah, so I'm also living off campus, close to campus. Also, same situation. All my classes have been online. I do go into campus for like lab research, which has been a pretty weird thing to see. You know, usually the building is full of people walking around at all different times, especially like when classes are switching. But I see the one person that's also in the lab with me, and that's it, which is pretty weird. But you know, has been like that for the past 6 months. Same situation as Melissa, you know, we're here running our normal routes. And I also live in a house with mostly teammates, so we can run together. So yeah, best situation it could be.
And Liam, how about you? Tell us about your situation here in the fall.
Really just going to reiterate what Melissa and Grace said, kind of in the same situation, living with a teammate off campus, but really close to campus, taking classes online. I'll go into campus maybe a couple times a week, go down to the library to study, or go to my one in-person class. And it's just strange being down there, as Grace kind of said. Instead of seeing a bunch of students walking around on the quad, it's like a few people in small clusters to keep that social distancing. And once again, it's been really good to be back on the normal routes up here, whether we head down MLK or North Park with teammates, and just being in that, like, not group setting fully, but being able to train with teammates again.
Okay, Coach, we'll turn it back to you here. If you can, give us your final word or final message you may want to send to the team and everyone in 2020.
I just want to say, like, while this is an incredibly challenging time, I know we have the opportunity to support each other, to engage in a safe and fun manner. And that's what I want to do. I want to bring all of the missed fun that we've had back into our environment and just do it safely. And I know we have incredible support from our parents and our fans. And I want to say that we still need your support. So continue to do that. Send whatever messages or goodwill to our team as motivation for them. And it's really important that we stay Spartan strong. So let's go Spartans and be strong and stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Coach. I think that's a great message to send out to everybody. Want to thank you all for joining us. That's going to wrap up our media week for us, but make sure you keep going to athletics.case.edu. We'll be doing all sorts of fun features and interviews all throughout the course the fall season. And so that's going to be certainly interesting to keep track of. Remember, we do have our Athlete of the Decade contest going on right now. And actually, I think we have a few a few cross country runners coming up next week. Sam Merriman, and I think maybe the week after is Justine Jarosky. So if you're a cross country fan, you want to keep an eye out for that and maybe vote for your favorite Case Western Reserve athletes of the last decade. But once again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for everyone joining us today. Liam, Melissa, Grace, and Coach Lenise, we really appreciate it. And we will see everyone in the near future on athletics.case.edu. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you.